Last year, former special counsel Robert Hur said he would not recommend charges against then-President Biden amid allegations Biden, mishandled classified materials as a senator and as vice president. Hur said a jury was likely to find Biden was, quote, a well-meaning elderly man with a poor memory. The White House denounced Hur's characterization back then, and Biden, for his part, said, quote, I know what the hell I'm doing. The White House at the time released transcripts of Hur's interview with Biden. It refused, however, to release audio of that 2023 interview, which we now have. Now, we're going to run long excerpts of that audio so you can judge Biden's memory for yourself. The first thing you'll hear is Biden's response to a question about where he kept documents related to his book, The Cancer Moonshot, and 2 centers under his name.
Where did you keep papers that related to those things that you were actively working on?
Well, I don't know. This is what, 2017, 18, that area?
Yes, sir.
Remember, in this time frame, my son is either been deployed or is dying. And so it was, and by the way, there were still a lot of people at the time when I got out of the Senate that were encouraging me to run in this period, except the president. They're not a mean thing to say. I mean, he just thought that she had a better shot of winning the presidency than I did.
In this part of the interview, still on that question about where he kept important documents, Biden cannot recall when his son, Beau, died of brain cancer.
What was happening, though, one month did Beau die? May 30th, 2018. Was it 2015 he died?
May 2015.
I think it's 2015.
I'm not sure the months, but I think it was.
Yeah.
That's right, Mr. President.
And what's happened in the meantime is that Trump gets elected in November of 2017? 2016. All right. So, why do I have 2017 here?
That's when you left office, in January of 2017.
Okay. But that's when Trump gets sworn in.
Right.
January.
Right. Correct.
Okay. Yeah.
Joel Payne, CBS News political contributor and chief communications officer for Move On. Kevin Sheridan, senior advisor for the Romney-Ryan 2012 presidential campaign and former spokesman for the RNC. Joel, go ahead. What did you hear? What do you think about that?
I heard an 80-year-old president running the free world with a faulty memory, which I don't think was. I don't get the sense that like Joe Biden stammering over his words, stammering over his memory. I don't think that's breaking news. And I don't think that that means that he couldn't perform the job of the presidency, which I think belied what the criticism was at the time. I think what that suggests is that that was a bad look at a time that Joe Biden was taking on a lot of political water, and his political operation reacted the way you would expect a political operation to react, is that they got their bosses back. So everything kind of goes to form there. I don't, there's nothing that I didn't get in the transcript that I didn't get from the audio.
Is it form to listen to that, which anyone at the White House could have, and say, yes, this man has got to serve another 4 years as president of the United States?
I mean, I think the American people, I think, the general public has made a judgment on that, which I think most Democrats who are kind of paying attention understand now and kind of get. I will point out to you, the American people elected a 78-year-old man 2.5 years before that who was old and who rambled and forgot stories and talked about corn pop. And they elected him 2.5 years before that, and he had a pretty successful presidency. So I think a lot of things can be true.
Kevin?
Yeah, there's only 2 options here. He's either a confused old man who had no business being president at the time, or He was faking.
Well, no, he had business being president because he was elected president. The question is, should he have run for re-election and offered the country 4 more years?
And I'll get to that. But
Okay.
if he was faking it, it worked because it got him out of a prosecution. That was the explicit reason that Robert Hur did not prosecute. But look, any way you slice it, this is a bad look for the Democratic Party. All of the cabinet members have some responsibility for not stepping up at the time. The vice president could have invoked the 25th Amendment at any time. She did not. They let this play out until the point where they couldn't fake it anymore. So, and they had to get out.
Do you think that George H.W. Bush should have invoked the 25th Amendment on Ronald Reagan? Do you think that Mike Pence should have invoked the 25th Amendment on Donald Trump when he allowed a mob to go after the Capitol? I mean, I take your point. If your point is this is a bad look for Democrats politically, okay, fine. But that's a ridiculous argument. Like Joe Biden was running the country, frankly, better than the guy who's the president right now is running the country.
I don't think the American people agree with that at all.
A more cogent foreign policy.
The numbers don't back that up.
An economy that's building at a faster rate. So I'd be happy to have that conversation.
What is more problematic for a president, an interview like that or a president of the United States prattling on social media about Bruce Springsteen and Beyonce?
Yeah, in the second term, I honestly don't know that people care that he talks about celebrities anymore. I think that was shocking in the first term to a lot of people, and now it's just baked in.
Let's dig into talks about celebrities. When you say talks about celebrities, he wants an investigation on Bruce Springsteen, Oprah, and Beyonce.
Well, he's certainly right that the Harris campaign paid them.
I'm very excited.
I don't think that's illegal.
I'm very excited to hear about the investigation into Kid Rock and into.
He doesn't have to pay his celebrities.
Okay, got it.
Your point is that campaigns can waste money in any way they decide to.
They blew $1 billion, and look where it got them.
Can I just make a point here?
Please.
Democrats have an issue of trust with the broader public. I think if Republicans aren't careful, they're going to have that same issue of trust. I think Donald Trump has squandered a lot of political capital and is squandering the trust that the American people have wanted to put into their leaders, and they've tried to inject via the 2024 election. Yes, Democrats have a trust issue, but Republicans have one, and it's growing by every day because you got a president that's unfocused, and instead of talking about how to lower your prices, he's talking about how to investigate Bruce Springsteen.
Or James Comey. I mean, when you're talking about questions of Biden, his stability, his acuity, his mental alertness, is it mentally alert for a president to do the kinds of things that Trump regularly does on social media? Does that not raise any...
James Comey embarrassed himself enough this week. He could probably just stay out of that one. But yeah, of course he's going to have his grievances. He hates James Comey, and James Comey hates him. He's going to be a tweet. He's going to tweet. He's going to whatever you call it, truth. That's never going to change. I think most of the American public doesn't care anymore. I think that the last election proved
dulled to it.
Yeah, they're dulled to it. It's not interesting anymore. It's on Truth, not on Twitter as much. So people just kind of tune it out.
Joel,
there's a celebrity talking about celebrities. It matters to Joel.
I think the bases of both parties probably don't care. I think the folks in the middle who, frankly, made the election swing one way or another, I think en masse do care. I think that Republicans will pay a price for this in 2026. And I think it's the only opportunity that Democrats have right now to reassert themselves politically.
No,
is Donald Trump looking unfocused.
Republicans will pay a price if the economy is not in a good place and
not looking
we're
good
not
right
at peace.
now.
And Joel, on Morning Joe this morning, a very well-known doctor said it was clear to him, based on what he has seen, he doesn't treat President Biden, that he would have had this prostate cancer situation for years, if not a decade.
Yeah.
He said it was discoverable, but nobody discovered it. That's led Ronnie Jackson, a member of the House, to say there was a cover-up. There was a concerted effort not to look into things that would have been damaging had they been disclosed to the American public. I'd like you to evaluate that.
Yeah, I don't think Ronnie Jackson or, frankly, any of us at this table are in a position to have an opinion on that.
I'm not.
Other than to say Joe Biden, because of his behavior in terms of not disclosing some of his other frailties, I think does open himself up to that type of critique. But what I would also say is it's pretty rich for Republicans to talk about White House physician's office and operating in good faith. I mean, they want you to believe that Donald Trump is 6'3", 225, which for those people who will be watching the Western Conference Finals is 1 inch shorter and 1 pound less than Anthony Edwards. Like, give me a break.
You got 5 seconds.
This is terrible news for the Democrats. I don't have any more to say than that.
And you extend your sympathies to the Biden family.
And of course, I wish him well.
Joel Payne, Kevin Sheridan, thank you very much.